This is my setup for my spring experiment. This stand is used for me to hang the spring, and I'm going to use 4 springs of different length, 20-cent coin, stapler, and I have used a plastic bag to place the 20-cent, meter rule, pen for record, and the stapler.
These are the materials that will be used to design the spring: a wire cutter, a marker pen, a ruler, and 2 wires. First, I'm gonna make a spring with length of 6 cm. Now I start to coil the wire around the marker pen. Then I will use a ruler to measure the length of the spring to make sure it is 6 cm. Okay, so now the spring with 6 cm is done. I will use the wire cutter to cut the rest of the wire. I'll repeat these steps to make the spring with length of 2 cm, 4 cm, and 8 cm. I will leave some space at the end for each spring to hang the load. After the 4 springs are made, I will start to carry out the spring experiment. I will use 50 cents as the load, and the mass of each 50 cents is 5 grams. Okay, so now I'm gonna start with 40 grams first. So I'll put 8 50 cents into the small plastic bag and hang it to the spring. I'll measure the initial length of spring A first. Okay, the initial length is 8 cm. So now I'll hang the load to the spring and then measure the length. the spring. Okay, the first reading is 9 cm. Okay, I'll take the second reading now.
Assalamualaikum everyone, my name is Nur Izlin binti Zulkifli and today we demonstrate our last experiment, which is spring. So first of all, I will show you the materials that we need to conduct this experiment and the way I built my own spring. Okay, so let's start with the materials that we need to build our own spring. So the first one is the wires that I obtained from the lab experiment kits, and the second one is the marker to build the spring for a fixed diameter,
and plier to cut the wire, and a ruler. So next we move on to the materials that we need for the loots. For the first one is the small tin bucket to put our loots, which is the coins, inside the bucket, and to hook it at the spring later on, and the weighing scale. So for your information, this tin bucket is 20 gram. Okay, so let's start with build our own springs with several different lengths, which are 20 cm, 30 cm, 40 cm, 50 cm. So let's start. So I managed to cut the wires into 4 different lengths, which are 20 cm, 30 cm, 40 cm, and 50 cm. So from here, I can obtain 4 different lengths of spring. So the first one, which with 20 cm of wire just now, and the second one is 30 cm wire, and the third one is 40 cm of wire, and the last one is 50 cm of wire. So here is my setup for this experiment. I used the fixed support, which is from the trolley, to hook the S hook and the spring, and I use the buckets of coins as a load. Before I do my experiment, I will measure the initial length of the spring and see the difference after I put the loads on.
Hello, my name is Alia Irene and I will be doing the spring experiment. So for this experiment, I'll be using wires that is provided in the experiment kit. And to cut these wires, I will be using a plier. And to make the spring, I'll be using a marker as a benchmark to get the same diameter for each spring. And I'll be using also a ruler to measure on how long the spring will be. I also have a pack of green bean with a measuring weight scale and also a box. And I will be also using a hook that I will be showing later on in the video. So now I will begin to cut the wires. Fast forward. Successfully cut all the wires, and I managed to get 5 different lengths upon 2 loops of wire given in the experiment kit. So now what we are going to do is we are going to make the spring using the marker as a benchmark, so we can get all with a similar diameter. All the spring, so I'll give you a close-up on how it looks like. I leave some space on this at the other end, both of the ends, for me to hang it on the hook, and another one is for me to hang the load. From the different length of wire I cut earlier, I will get different number of coils. This is from the 60 centimeter wire, and this is from the 50 centimeter wire. It is obvious on the different of number of coil. What we're going to do next is we are going to weigh some of the green bean using the weighing scale. So now it's time for us to load the weight. So what we are going to do is we are going to add some of the green bean into the red box. So the red box itself is 44 grams. So in example, we wanted to make the load to be 50 grams. Therefore, we need to add the green bean another 6 grams. So it will be 50 grams in total. Next, what we are going to do is we are going to hang the spring at a hook. But before that, measure the original length of the spring. After weighing the load that you wanted to add the load at the other end of the spring, and then measure the final length of the spring after adding the load. I think that is all for my experiment, and all of the data that I got from the experiment will be in the lab report.